Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going through all the new and old Amethyst cards in Fabled. I will rank them from S to D tier and let's see what we have here. The first card is the Queen, Wicked and Wayne. It's a reprint, costs 5, is inkable for 5, and if you tap her, you can draw a card. I think this card is pretty old and it also shows with the fact it's from set 1, and I don't think that this card will see any play in this set. So just put it into D tier. But what interesting is about this card, it's not a once per turn, so maybe you can like untap her and tap her again. So I will just put her into D tier because I think there are just way better draw engines you have right now. Example for the Dumbo, you have, for example, the Yzma and so on. Next one we have Rafiki, Mystical Fighter, a really important reprint we have here. He is having Challenger +3, giving us an easier time against Daisy Dog, and I think this card will see a lot of play, and I will put it into S tier. Next up we have Ursula Sea Witch, which also has an epic, which looks really awesome, and whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character can't ready at the start of the next turn. I think this card is, for me personally, just a bit too weak to be an unink and to cost 3 to have 3/3. It's a cool effect which has some potential, but I don't think it's good enough to be played. So I will just put it into C tier because it's not that bad like the Queen we had before. Next up we have Jafar, Keeper of Secrets. This card gets +1 attack for each card in your hand. And I think this is a very hard card to tell because you don't really have a lot of cards in your hand. And in this format you will see we lost a lot of draw engines, and I also think that you will never have more than 3 cards in your hand, especially if you have to play something on 4, you know? So I don't really think this card is bad, just for now it's not that good, and I will just put it into C tier. Next up we have Belle, Untrained Mystic, and her ability is when you play this character, move up to 1 damage counter from chosen character to chosen opposing character. It would be a good shift target, but for me personally, I don't think you need a shift target for the 5 cost Belle. You can just play her like that. And with that said, I will just put it into D tier because I don't think it has a lot of potential. Next up we have the Belle, Accomplished Mystic. I think this card is an S tier card, especially for Blurple, especially for every deck that plays Amethyst, you will have at least see 2 copies of this card in the deck. So just put it into S tier. Then we have the Winnie Pooh Vanilla. I can't give this card to D, you know guys. The thing is, the card is not that good, but the artwork and everything else is just amazing. We'll just put it into C tier and just let it be there, you know. Then we have Peter Pan's Shadow. It has Rush and Evasive, and your other characters with Rush gain Evasive. So this is a pretty cool combo card with the Whale that has Rush. So you can basically play him maybe on turn 4, and maybe 2 turns later or 3 turns later with some ramp you can play out your Whale that untaps themselves if you discard a card. And I think this card could see some play. I just don't think it is good enough because we have other good cards for 4. So I will just put it between B and C tier. For right now, we'll just put it into C tier. But I also think that it deserves the B tier spot because you can have some potential plays in the future with it. Next up, we have Elsa, Spirit of Winter. I think this is one of the reprints from the first set that are really good, especially if you have the 5 cost Elsa in your deck and just shift it next turn and exert up to 2 chosen characters and they can't ready at the start of your next turn. It's like a small be prepared, if you know what I mean, because your opponent can't do anything in the next 2 turns. So you're just here questing with your Elsa and finishing off the game. So just put it into S tier because it's a really strong card. Next up we have Ursula, Voice Stealer, a new card, 3/4, and when you play this character, exert chosen opposing ready character. Then you may play a song with cost equal to or less than the exerted character cost for free. So you can basically play things like Into the Unknown for free if you tap a free cost, or you could like in a red Ruby Amethyst deck you could play like a Pirate's Life if you tap a 6 cost, and so on. So I think this card has a lot of potential, but for right now I'll just put it into B tier. Then we have I think the most expensive card this set, it's the Dumbo, 9th Wonder of the Universe, 3/3, costs 4, has evasive, and if you tap it and pay 1 ink, you can draw a card and gain 1 lore, and your other characters with evasive get the same effect. And I think this is the main draw engine you have right now in Amethyst, after Finders Keepers of course. So I think this card is an S tier card and has to be played in every Amethyst deck that of course has evasives. Then we have the small Dumbo, and when you play this character, chosen character gains evasive until the start of your next turn. It's also pretty okay, I will just put it into B tier, because I think it's not a bad card. Then we have Timothy. While you have a character with evasive in play, this character gets 1 lore. I don't think this card will see a lot of play, I've just put it into C tier or even D tier because I don't think the stats are pretty good. Then we have a really underrated card. We have the Elsa Gloves of 3/4 and has Challenger 3. And I think this stat line is really good because you can remove Hades, it survives the Hades attack, and with that said, you are having a huge body on the board, which you maybe can give evasive to with other characters or items we will see now. So I think this card is actually a B tier card and it could see some play in the future. Then we have Cusco. I think this card is amazing, especially for those Amethyst Steel aggro burn decks, so I will just put it into A tier. I think it's a really good draw engine, especially maybe not in the beginning because we have a lot of aggro and this is a card you don't want to draw when you play against aggro, but for later on this card will have a lot of potential, so I'll just put it into A tier. Then we have TikTok, evasive 4/7. I think this card is also not that bad, I'll just put it into B tier just because it has a huge body and it has maybe for me 1 strength. It should have like 1 more strength to like remove the Elsa maybe for 6 costs, so I'll just put it into C to B tier. Then we have Dolores Madrigal, another card that people are not afraid of at the moment, but it has 3/3, and when you play this character, if an opponent has an exerted character in play, you may draw a card, which is really good, and she quests for 2. So for decks that want to go fast and need like a small draw engine, this is the perfect way to go. I will put her into B tier. Then we have Camilo Madrigal, and at the start of your turn you may choose one. This is always really good if you can choose between 2 effects. This character gets +1 lore, or this character gains Challenger 2. I think this card is really not that bad and I think you can definitely play it. The problem here is, like in all characters at the moment, you need evasive. And if you don't have evasive, the card is not getting good against those hard matchups. So just put it into B tier for now, but it's really not a bad card. Then we have Elsa, where you can, from the first chapter, where you can exert a chosen opposing character when you tap her. I'll just put her in the C tier and not into D tier because she could be a shift option for later on. And then we have like a really interesting card. We have the Genie reprint. And his effect is whenever this character quests, you may shuffle this card into your deck to draw 3 cards. Really cool effect. The thing here is we are in a meta where you need board presence and this card is doing the opposite. So you're getting a lot of draw engines out of him. You're getting a lot of value, but you're losing a character from the board. And I think this is not just in sealed, but also in this meta, it's really important to have a full board. You don't have any more big removals like Be Prepared or a Sisu. So removing another character on your board, especially if against hyper aggro, you lose the game immediately. So just put him into D tier at the moment, but I think this card has a lot of potential in the future. Then we have Olaf 1-3. Nothing special here, you can't push him to 4 anymore with the crab, so just put it into D tier. Then we have Sven 5-7. Also vanilla, you just put it into D tier, nothing special here. Then we have Mama Odie, and whenever this character quests, you may move up to 2 damage counters from chosen character to chosen opposing character. I think this card is not that bad, but again, 6 cost, 3-6, the value is not good enough for it, so I will just put it into D tier. Then we have Luisa Madrigal with 4-3 and Rush, 4 cost, Unink. This is our new Madame M. Fox, basically. And I think this card is not that bad. I think you can play her, I would just put it into B tier. Especially in this meta where you are playing a lot against hyper aggro. So yeah, I will just put it in a B tier. Then we have Jafar, and when you play this character, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put one of them to the top of your deck and the other one to the bottom. I don't think this card will see a lot of play, and it has really bad stats for a 3 cost. Then we have an underrated card in my eyes. We have the second star to the right. It's a sync together 10 and chosen player draws 5 cards. I think this is amazing, and I think this card could see play in the future. I will put it into B tier. Then we have the Poor Unfortunate Souls. It's a song, 2 cost, and return chosen character, item, or location with cost 2 or less to the player's hand. It would be amazing if it would like cost 3, so you can like bounce their Tiana back to their hand after they cheated it out in turn 2. But all in all, I think this card is not that bad, and you can definitely play her. I will just put it into C tier right now, just because you can't like bounce the really important characters here. Then we have a free unlinked last ditch effort. Exert chosen opposing character, and chosen character of yours gains challenger +2 this turn. This could be really interesting because you can like remove a lot of threats. And again, everything what you can exert in this meta is really good because you don't really have a lot of removal options right now. So I think this card is not that bad. Just because it's a free unning, I don't think I would play it. And you have on turn 3 you have so much better plays you can do. For example, you could like play Hypnotic Strength on 2, or you can like play out Lawrence and so on, or play out a Strength. So other options are there. So I'll just put in the C tier right now. Then we have I'm Stuck, 1 cost, inkable, and chosen exerted character can't ready at the start of your next turn. So you are stalling your opponent a bit, but you're not removing really threats, and you're just giving up a card and a lore. So I'll just put it into C tier right now. Then we have another really underrated card. We have the Magic Feather. When you play this item, choose a character of yours. While this item is in play, that character gains evasive, which is like a gear item, and with 3 costs of the ink you can return this item to your hand, which is really strong. You can basically give characters that don't have evasive to get rid of those really nasty genies, these elves or these dumbos, and afterwards you can just pay 3 ink later on in the game to just get it back to your hand and give it to another character. If you play another 2. You know, this card is really good. I would just put it into A tier. I think this card has a lot of potential. And with Magic Mirror, I think there is a card that doesn't have a lot of potential because it's just too expensive. It costs 2, you have to pay 4 to draw a card. I'll just put it into D tier. It's way too bad right now. Then we have this White Rabbit Pocket Watch, which you can untap and pay 1 to give a character rush. I think this is a good idea for Maui Shark in the future, so you can, instead of the Peter Pan, you can just play this item. But all in all, I don't think this is that really important to other decks, so I just put it into C tier. It's more like a niche card. Same for the Rose Lantern, you can pay 2 and to tap it to move 1 damage counter, which is good for like these damage counter decks where you play Belle, Mama Odie and so on. Still just give it to C tier because it's just way too slow for this meta. Same for the Casa Madrigal, it's just a D tier card, it's not fast enough, it's not good enough. And I think that's it. We can now look at the tier view. We see we have some potential winners here. We have the Rafik, we have the Bell, we have the Elsa, we have the Dumbo. Cusco is a really, really good card, I think. The Magic Feather too, and I think those cards, I think it really fits to all of that, what I said. just remember, you need to find removal fast, you need to find answers fast against those aggro decks, and you need to like control the tempo. And I think with those cards, like in those 3 sections, you have the control over it. So if you guys like it, leave a like, subscribe, tell me what your favorite card in this set is, and if you would change anything in this tier list. I really appreciate feedback, and see you guys soon. Bye.